Hello, everyone. Welcome to the New Artist Spotlight podcast. I'm Wilko Wilkes.
And big OG, you know me. It's your boy Origin Cross.
Thanks for joining us for another episode. If you've listened before, you'll know that we're interviewing incredible emerging artists from around the world of independent music, all of whom can be found on the New Artist Spotlight playlists.
And don't forget to check out the New Artist Spotlight website, newartistspotlight.org, where you can find those playlists, plus news, reviews, tips, and everything we have to offer here at NAS.
Okay, so let's get into it then. Today's guest is somebody who has been around the block. You will no doubt be familiar. Sorry, I'm struggling with my voice there. He will no doubt be familiar to all NAS members. He's been around since the beginning. He's an artist, he's a host, he's a playlist curator, he's a social media whiz, he's admin, you name it, he's it. We all know him, but yet he is a mystery. Some even say he's an illusion. Some have speculated that he may be a mythological apparition, but is he? Let's find out. Welcome to the show, Mr. Samuel Desai.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's such an honor to be here.
We finally get to meet you on this iteration of the podcast. So for anyone who isn't aware of you, tell us a little bit more about Desai, the man behind Desai.
Yeah, so I'm Samuel. I'm 16. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, I like to say. My artist name Desai is actually my last name. That came about through. So when I started releasing music originally, I used to release under the name Ulio, Uelio, which is the second half of my first name, and then like a little bit on the end of it. And I changed my name because, for one, as one's music starts out, it's obviously very garbage. I'm sure you guys are both very familiar with that. And I made the mistake of releasing music really early on in my cycle of learning and relearning and producing, and it was not good. It was very unenjoyable. So I decided, you know what, I just want to start over with a clean slate. And so 2 years ago or so now, I changed my artist name to Desai, which is my last name.
Yeah, mate, I'm enjoying the room that you're in. It looks like you're an actual, some sort of pop star's background. You've got the lights, you've got it all, mate.
Yeah, it's my music studio, and it's kind of messy right now because I rearranged everything for this interview. I have this like general setup now for recording. I know we'll probably get into it later, but I record in this room as well for NASA Palooza. What we got here is we got a ring light here, and we got
I'll get the full
bunch of piano that I don't touch because I can't figure out how to connect it up to my computer. Guitar, a microphone, a cheap $20 microphone from Amazon, and then a desk where all the magic happens.
Love it, mate.
Yeah.
Is that in your house then?
Yeah, it's just a room in my house. I've always recorded music in my house. I remember when I started recording music, I actually would record in my basement. And it was really awkward because I didn't have a mic stand. I had like one of those, like, I have the same microphone that I had then, $20 off of Amazon, but it had like a weird like podcast stand on it. So what I did is I recorded in my basement just because I thought then that was where the sound was the best. But like there was like all these like things in the basement, like the heater and the dehumidifier and like refrigerators and stuff. And so it would like turn everything off in my basement. My parents would yell at me because like I would unplug the refrigerator and like all the food would go bad. And I would literally just like, I would put my podcast mic on the floor and I would literally like lay down and record. It was really, really uncomfortable and awkward. But yeah, now I'm up here in this room in my house that I cleaned out. I used to have a whole bunch of toys in here when I was little, and I cleaned it out and I put some things in it.
So does that coincide with Julio becoming Desai? Was the sort of switch from lying on the floor in the basement to this new studio?
I mean, kind of a little bit. What I used to do is there's another room in my house that is literally right across from this room. I used to record in that room because it was like a guest room, and I would record there. I switched there. And then once the pandemic started, this room was absolutely messy and everything. I just cleaned it all out, and it was like a personal project for me during the pandemic, and it became a studio.
That's good, man.
So when you were in the basement on the floor, because I mean we've all had those struggle days. I had a mic where it was like a Radio Shack mic. If you guys know Radio Shack, it's pretty much gone now, but it was like a $20 Radio Shack mic, and it had wasn't a clip, but it was like it was small. It wasn't like on a mic stand or anything like that. So I would use like my dresser, and then I would like stack a bunch of boxes on the dresser to make the mic like, tall enough where I would sit and have it like on a table. But I've never laid down.
I think that was just dumb on my part, honestly.
So Desai, as a NAS legend, can you tell us a bit about how you got involved with a New Artist Spotlight community? Because Ed said to me that the whole community might not even be here if it wasn't for you.
Yeah. I forget how I got into it. I was promoting my my pandemic song that I wrote at the beginning of lockdown, When It's All Over. And I just stumbled upon it. I think it was on Submit Hub. I think that's where most of the people that were in the community at the beginning, that's where we all came there, like through Reddit or something. And I joined the community, and then I was basically doing nothing at home all day, and I was like, might as well become a moderator, just something for me to do in my spare time. And yeah, that's really how I got into the mod role. I think probably my biggest accomplishments in the moderation role was so in the early days before we were on Discord and everything, we were doing Instagram group chats. I don't know if you guys were around for that.
I wasn't.
I think Origin might have been. And so what we would do is we would have like a spreadsheet, and we would keep track in the spreadsheet when was the last day that the artist streamed. And I actually really made that spreadsheet and like maintained it. And it was, I think probably without that spreadsheet, the community would have been dying out a long time ago before we really added all these things with it, the interviews, the podcast, the 10 questions, all those different things. NASA-palooza, those would have not come around were it not for that spreadsheet, honestly.
Yeah, I remember the days of Instagram. There were a lot of people who would always complain that they would get messages that they weren't streaming when they were streaming, and that used to cause a lot of confusion and like just problems between like the mods and the streamers. And it would always be Ed stepping in and being like, look, nobody's perfect, we're all volunteering here, we need to be patient with each other, and just trying to help ease that tension and keep things going.
Yeah. When did you become a moderator, Origin?
Only like a couple months ago when I put out Show and Tell, because he needed somebody to kind of host the podcast with Wilko.
Yeah.
He said basically, podcast comes with the moderator duties, and every mod has their main role, which for us would be podcast, and then we split the community duties and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's only been.
Did you get the gold-plated champagne pack that came through for me when I became a moderator?
No, all I got was.
No?
I didn't get anything.
Really? Do you not even get a watch?
Champagne pack?
Yeah,
Dude, I've been wearing my Spy Kids Apple Watch.
Oh, mate. You'll have
for
to get in
months
touch.
now.
You'll have to knock on some doors, mate. It's
Who I'll
not
take
good
this
enough.
up with?
Not good enough. So you mentioned NASA Palooza there, Sam. I wanted to ask you a bit about that. Like, how have you found it? Because I really enjoy watching the shows, and I think you do a great job on it. So yeah, it's something that you've kind of grasped, and then you've gone with it. I feel like that's maybe a theme in the stuff that you do. You take opportunities, and I think that's a good. That'll lead you a long way in life, I think. But yeah, tell us about NASA Palooza.
So really with me, I guess one of my strongest suits, like personally, not like music related, not new artist spotlight related, not any of that. It really has to be, my public speaking and things like that. I'm involved in all of these different things outside of NAS and all these things. Like I do like Model UN on the side. For people who don't know what Model UN is, both Origin and Wilko and people listening through the podcast app on their phone, be sure to like the podcast, but Model UN.
What's UN Model? Yeah.
Model UN is not, it's not like I'm on a runway or something and like modeling, but it's like a mock United Nations committee where like we like represent a country or whatever, and we have to like go up and speak about the issue that's at hand and come up with solutions for it. And in many ways, I think that represents life in a way, because you have your problems with yourself and with others, and you have to come up with a compromise that works for everyone. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things I like about it is finding that compromise through all this chaos.
So with that, and do you feel like that lends itself to your role here in NAS and just life in general, having that
leadership or something like that?
Yeah, leadership. Just that ability to kind of dissect the problem and come up with the solution and work through things that may not be simple at first and may not be cut and dry.
I think definitely. That's really what I'm like interested in doing in my life. I really don't see myself as a career musician or anything like that. Really right now for me, my dream career in the future is like public policy. And that is completely looking for solutions and trying to plug them up and fix that. And so, yeah, it really lends to my life right now in NAS. I made the spreadsheet. I saw that, our follower numbers on the playlist were kind of low. So I saw, why don't we make a toned down follow gate or whatever? So that way, when they submit to our playlists, we can get follows on all the lists, and we can have 6,000 or whatever followers now on our main playlist. And I think that just really finding those gaps and plugging them has really been crucial throughout my life.
I like that, man. It's interesting. And I like how you're sort of bringing it more towards the, life as a whole, because I do think that it's the music's only a very small part of what all of us do. So it's interesting to hear more about the wider sort of man behind the music. But what's your identity as an artist? What's your sort of message that you want to get out in the world?
I really do this music thing for myself. It's not about sharing it with other people. It's not about promoting things or whatnot. It's not about making millions upon millions of dollars and playing at Wembley Stadium. But it's really for myself. When I was younger, I was bullied a lot. and I had no friends. I was basically a loner, and it was honestly very sad. And so I really, for me at the beginning, music was really just about like expressing myself and sharing my feelings out there in the world, because there was no one there to listen for me. And I guess for me, just music is self-therapy. And I know that you talk a lot about that with mental health through music. But yeah, that absolutely means the world to me.
Yeah, that's good, man. I like it. I like to hear it. And I always say, people should do music just to feed their soul and, enjoy it rather than putting a load of pressure on yourself. And yeah, no, it's good to hear, man. I think for a young guy, you've got quite a grounded outlook. And does that spur you on, the bullying, you say, does that spur you on as well? Do you think I'm going to prove these guys wrong, or have you got over that now? Or I find it interesting because I saw that you've written about that in your EPK as well. So it's obviously something that affected you. So like, what sort of good stuff have you managed to gain from that?
I mean, what good things I've managed to gain from making music? It was just like, I guess the word's cathartic for me. Self-release. I think probably one of the biggest effects with it was 2 years ago, my grandfather passed away, and I was really grieving like crazy. And I wrote like a crazy number of songs about him. I guess my last release, not the one we're here today to talk about, but Gone. It was I originally wrote it about an argument I had about my father. But then, the chorus, "It's All Gone" or whatever, that really just connected to the passing of my grandfather. And so I released that. That was originally a song I released under Julio. And I revisited it a couple months ago. And it's just music has continually been a sense of like a way to, let out my grief and let out all those feelings. Even still to this day, I mean, yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm really over the fact now that my grandfather's dead, but it still carries on that feeling that for me to this day with that, and with what I mentioned earlier before we started recording about my other grandparents' health right now.
Yeah, I think you've done a good job there.
So
I think I get that sense of grief from your music as well.
Is that the kind of the opening line in that song? You said, "This is for you, Papa."
Yeah, my Papa is my grandfather, and I dedicated that song to him.
It's nice, man. It's a nice gesture.
That's really dope. So you do your own production and everything, beats, right? So how much of your process is you, and then how much of your process is collaboration and working with others?
That percentage and whatnot is actually starting to change. I guess before this latest single, "We Got the World," it was basically all me, everything. Writing, recording, album art design, promotion. I wrote my EPKs. I still write my EPKs. Lyricism, everything. And it was 100% me. And you know what? I just decided that, that's one, a lot of responsibility for one person. And two, it's, I really like working with other people as well.
One thing I caught, you said, "I decided." I'm sorry, that's just how my brain works.
It's I think about that all the time. So in America, in like the yearbook, you have like a senior quote, and I haven't really thought about that because I'm a junior in high school right now, so I have like a year or so to think about it. But my in the works senior quote right now is, "I couldn't decide on a quote," and I think that's honestly pretty funny.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think you might get bored of it over time though, because I used to think, I had a couple that I thought were really cool. Was where there's a Wilkes, there's a way.
Yeah.
And you've been Will KO'd. I used to think they were both great, and then over time, they don't seem as funny now.
No, they're not very funny. I'm being honest with you.
I know that's fine, mate.
Every time someone says the word origin in any context, I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's good.
Story. That's the origin of the problem is anytime someone says origin, I'm like, that's me.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, let's get back to the origin of the question that Wilko asked me.
I can't remember what we decided that we were going to ask next. So you did that one with Claire Donzelli as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did that with her. We met through NAS. She's no longer through NAS. And then I did a whole bunch of remixes with that. One with Richard, who was actually the producer for Yelghost 7. I forget if he's still with us in NAS, but he was at least an NAS artist. I was talking to him on Instagram like several months ago. This was like last year, probably even. And I was like, dude, I really like the production on your songs. And he's like, yeah, it's really good, but I don't do it myself. And he hooked me up with his producer Richard, and I decided that it was like, I like this dude, and I had him do a remix for me for Gone. It's kind of like a little bit of a trial run, I guess, to see, what he has that like complements my music and whatnot. And then for We Got the World, my latest track, I made the beat and I recorded the vocals over it and I sent it to him. And honestly, the beat was pretty generic, cut and dry, like kind of like an 8-bar loop, honestly, with a little bit of differences and things like that. I added the horns and the guitar in the final chorus. It's recorded on that guitar right there.
I heard there was a little bit of inspiration from Pharrell as well. I've heard.
Yeah, that was me as well. I started the track like that because I was on YouTube and I was just like kind of like doom scrolling videos or whatnot. There was this Vox Media video, and they have like this music series. It's like the history behind music or whatever. And there was this 3-minute long video, and it was basically like the origin of Pharrell's 4-count intros. And it was basically just like song after song after song of him doing that thing over and over and over again. And originally for the track I had like this really long like 8-bar 16-bar intro, and it's like, no, I want to do something different with this. And so I tried out that 4-count introduction. I'm like, damn, that's really good. And it was just like da 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 da, and it like got straight into the track, and I liked it because of like its abrupt nature. I guess.
It's good, man. People have short attention spans these days as well, so they want you to.
You got 7 seconds to catch their attention.
7 seconds.
Is it? I heard a whisper that there might be a little bit of just a minor part of Charles Connolly magic on the We Got the World as well. Is that? Can you confirm or deny?
Oh, I mean, I guess a little bit. Like Charles and I, we haven't worked together really. I initially reached out to Charles to produce the track with me, but Charles, being a man of many talents and masteries, it just like his rates weren't really in my budget for what I was thinking.
He's a master of what he does, though. To be fair,
he's incredibly talented. He's got a lot on. I want to work with him in the future.
Right.
For a whole bunch of songs now at this point, I think Stuck on the Inside, he really had like the biggest like impact in it. He just like gave me like 3 small changes to it when I sent him a demo over, because I have this thing where I just send him a demo every now and then, and he's like gives me a little bit of mentoring.
Right, that's nice. Yeah.
And he gave me like 3 small changes. I forget what they were, and it just like completely like just changed the track. And it just made it like so much better. It was just like small mixing things.
Yeah, that's great, man.
So earlier you mentioned a little bit about doing everything yourself, including promotion. So as far as promotion, like what tactics are you kind of employing to get? We noticed you had like some really good monthly listener numbers. So any tips you can throw out there for us or any artists that may tune in to, learn or just get to know you a little bit better?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't really know how I have numbers like that. I think a lot of it at this point is just like friends at my school, like the coach on the football squad. When I remember, he was giving me a ride to one of the away games. He's like, "So man, what do you do besides like football?" And I was like, "Yeah, I write music." And he's like, "Oh, show me." And then I showed it to him. He's like, "This is actually not bad." And he like rolled down the windows in his car and he like blasted it at full volume, just like on the street while we were going to one of the games. I mean, I guess I don't really have like a lot of that for helping other people. But one thing I can say is that I have a whole bunch of spreadsheets with Spotify playlist curators and blogs and things like that. And I'm a little bit too lazy to make those myself. I got some of those off of Claire Donzelli and Tazos, who is TFM Guitar in a New Artist Spotlight. But I can absolutely say that, you really want to compile a list of curators and things like that for easy contact, and then build a working relationship with them as well. Like I have a little bit of a relationship right now with this one dude, Steph, who runs this blog called Find a Song. And, you really just want to find people who not even just for promoting music, but just like, friends in general who will support you in that things. Like I know for today, for example, I'm sitting down here with you guys because Wilko added a podcast episode because, he's my friend. And so just, make friends with people and, they'll do things for you. You'll do things for them. And, it's great. Yeah.
Wise words, mate. You've got a wise head on young shoulders. Yeah. Actually, it's because I'm away next week. But that's how we slid you in. But no, you're right. It was we were going to do it at the end of the month, weren't we? But we managed to slide you in because it's important. We need to. I think the world needs to hear from Desai. Many of the world is just waiting for it still. So one thing I've been wanting to ask you about in your songs, I've noticed there's a few controversial lyrics in there, a little bit of effing and jeffing, dropping the F-bomb. It's wild, mate. It's out there. I wondered, is that something that is it something that like you deliberately do to try and be controversial, to try and create a little bit of controversy around there? Or is it more just a product of kind of how you're feeling at the time that you're writing?
Just a product of how I'm feeling, honestly.
I noticed you've got a clean version of the new song as well.
Yeah, I do, and the reason why I have that is because with the football games for high school, the coach is like, yeah, I'll play your music, but it has to be clean. And so initially I was like going to play Stuck on the Inside, but I didn't have a clean version of that for the warm-up track. So right now what they're playing is the Richard remix of Gone. And Richard actually collabing with me on We Got the World. He's a co-producer with me. And so I made a clean version of this track in the hopes that that will be played at Roy Lester Stadium, which is the name of the stadium that's at my school.
Cool. You talked about the work you put in as far as the production and everything else and how you're transitioning into working more with others. So with that, is your catalog kind of stacking up? Do you got a lot of stuff in reserve? Are you going one song at a time? And Also, can you tell us a little bit about your writing process and just kind of how you come up with the music you make?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't actually have that many things in my catalog right now. It's in the works. I have a few songs that are like, I've written it, I've like arranged it, I've done all that. I just like haven't had the chance to get in and just record it all. And that's really my plans for the future. I just got to record that shit and put it in there and then get it in the pipeline. I've written all these like amazing songs recently, and I look forward to sharing those with the world. I just haven't had the chance to make them because I'm so busy. Like most days during the
how much time do you get like to spend on music?
It's been really busy for me lately. Just like, every morning I wake up at 6 a.m. I go to school, I get home at 8 p.m. and then I have 3 or 4 hours of homework and then I go to sleep. So honestly, too busy. But anyways, back to the guitar. I started playing the guitar in 7th grade. Then I quit like a few months after because I had a guitar teacher. It was honestly kind of creepy. So he kind of scared me into stopping playing. And I've tried to get into it again, but it's like been on and off for me. Like I just don't have the time to practice. But in a bunch of my songs, the guitar plays at least a marginal role. In We Got the World, in the final chorus, there's a little bit of a guitar line with like a whole bunch of effects on it. And I guess I can say the same thing for Falling in Love with a Stranger and I think a few others. I forget which ones. But the guitar is definitely a part of my music, even if I'm not a good enough player to feel confident enough playing it on a podcast with like a whole bunch of viewers and stuff.
No, you don't need to do that for us. You should find a way to plug your keyboard though in. Surely that's a one cable job.
I have a MIDI to USB-C connector for my computer. It's just, honestly, I haven't really been using it that well. It's just been like for my music, it's been like either like downloaded MIDI files off the internet and like I screw around with those, or just like I just use like my MacBook keyboard and I just like key things out a little bit and like I guess we're going a little bit back to the songwriting question. For me, I get all my songwriting ideas in the weirdest of times. Like either A, when I'm falling asleep, B, when I'm in the shower, or C, just like at a random point in my day when I'm too busy to write it down or like record it in like the voice memos app on my phone or something. Just for me, my songwriting process is like very odd in the fact that it's like, oh, I hum this little line to myself, and then I might like write some lyrics for it, pull together a beat for it, and then record over it, and then there we go, we have a song. It's not like, oh, I sit down and I play like 3 chords on my guitar and I'm like, there we go, instant mega hit right there. And it all comes to me. It's like weird, like whispers in my mind that I piece together gradually over time.
Yeah, and I think that's quite a good way of describing your music as well, man. That sort of weird whispers in your mind. I can feel that sort of vibe running throughout a lot of it. It's good, man.
Yeah.
So and I definitely relate to the part about you get the music, it comes to you at the weirdest times. I had a song a while ago, last October, came out last Halloween, and it's called Lose Hope. And there's a line toward in like the last verse or something that actually got cut by the producer because it went past where he originally structured the beat. And it says like, and I wake up every Sunday with new words I forget by the time I get out of church. But I don't remember like something like this life that I live or something like that to finish it off. But like, it seems like every Sunday I wake up and like I'll instantly just like want to rap or work on music. And like I go to church, and by the time I get out, I'll get home, and I just won't remember crap that came to me that morning while I was brushing my teeth or getting dressed. It'll just be gone. I'm like, dude, there was something there, and I'll just sit there and rack my brain and try to get it, and it rarely ever comes
You
back.
need to note that down at the time. But if you don't note that down there and then, it's gone forever. That's a lesson I've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
So
voice memos app on your phone is
voice memos.
honestly the lifesaver that we all didn't ask for, but that we all needed.
Yeah, too right, mate. So
I use it. I just don't go back to it.
Oh yeah, that's a whole of it. That's a whole of a skill. Yeah, going back to it. Just choosing what to prioritize. I think when you've got a million ideas and you're like, well, actually, I've got to write something. What am I going to write about? And trying to nail it down. Yeah, it's tough. So one thing I was wondering, Desai, do you ever play live? And have you got any ambitions to do so? Do you enjoy performing?
I enjoy performing, but I don't know. I don't see it feasible. Just one, with my busy schedule, two, with, I just don't really have that like knowledge to like play piano or guitar adeptly in like a way that would be good for a live performance. I mean, I guess I've always wanted to perform live.
Do you have instrumental versions of your tracks where you could just play that? Have a mic, and maybe like at halftime in a football game or something, you could serenade the team.
I can't do that actually, because I do stats for the football squad, and it's like, oh, I have to tell them like all these things about how many shots they had and things like that. I have to like queue up the halftime music playlist or whatever. So I don't really have time for that. But that's honestly a creative idea. I could look into that maybe.
Yeah. Or just anywhere, like if you've got instrumental versions of your tracks, like without the vocals on, gives you more options. You could stick them on YouTube and get them on like people doing karaoke to your tracks with subtitles. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like with like the lyrics on the screen, like the lyrics like fill up.
Like sing it yourself.
Do you plan on going to college after high school?
Yeah, I do plan on going to college.
So 2 things. One, I got more like love and support in high school for my music than I did going to college. Even though I'm thinking it's a bigger campus, a bigger space, I'll meet more people and grow. It seems like for me personally, my numbers actually went down in college. That may be because I was working all the time when I wasn't in class, but I don't know. So definitely in college, make those connections and push it to whoever you can. But there will also be more opportunities to perform because college usually have karaoke. They usually have, open mic nights and things like that they host for the students. So like Wilko was saying, if you have instrumental tracks, or honestly, I mean, it's not like it's going to be like a bunch of professionals up there. If you just have the song and you can go up there and sing over the song.
Or like college radio or something like that.
Yeah. And actually our guest that was going to be on the week before this airs, Nathaniel Hardy, I think he's good at pitching the college radio and everything like that too.
Yeah.
Make those connections. That's the community.
Definitely.
What are you going to study at college? Do you know yet?
I mentioned this earlier in our interview, but I'm really interested in public policy with like an environmental focus. Actually, one cool thing I'm doing right now, just like on the side, the governor of my state in Maryland, he appointed me to his youth advisory council. So like I like give him like input on like policy as it concerns like young people in my state, and it's like something cool I do on the side. And
that's good, man. I used to do a similar thing as well. I was I think I was about 15, and I got onto the Bradford and Keighley Youth Parliament, which is like my local area, and I lasted about 2 sessions before I quit because I was infuriated by a few different things that I won't bother going into now.
Stalked by a stranger.
Love the reference, mate, but no, not at the time. But That's a whole other story. But at least you managed to stick it out for more than 2 sessions. That's good, man. And I reckon you've got a job in public policy waiting for you when you get out.
Yeah, I this past summer I was going to have an internship with this renewable energy trade group, the American Clean Power Association, and I actually got a connection in there because in 8th grade I had this school project where I had to make a video about a political issue or something. And we submitted it to this C-SPAN documentary contest. And we interviewed this woman, Heather Zekel, who at the time had done policy for Barack Obama. And I found her and I emailed her and stuff. And I contacted her a few months ago about an internship this past summer at her organization, because she's now the CEO over there. Because I live outside of Washington, D.C., so it's easy to get those connections. And I was gonna intern with her, but then she canceled on me because her organization had all these leadership changes and whatnot, so they weren't able to give me an internship. But hopefully this coming summer.
All right, so that was a little bit about Samuel and his dreams and aspirations. So for Desai, what's the dream or the pinnacle?
Yeah, just make music, express myself, maybe make a penny and a half of royalties at the same time. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so Desai, we're going to play We Got the World. We're going to give it a spin, so thank you for allowing us to do that. Any more points on it? And then if you want to just introduce it yourself, we'll give it a spin.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the album art for that release. My friend Connor took it. So in July, I actually went over the summer. I went to New Mexico, which is out west in the United States, and I went backpacking there for 2 weeks. It was really just freeing for me because I had been, at home basically for 18 months at that point, I think, less than 18 months. But I had been working on We Got the World at the time a little bit, and I was really excited for that. So that might have also played into the We Got the World as well. And so we went there for 2 weeks, and we didn't have cell service or anything. We threw our phones basically in a locker somewhere, and we walked for 50 miles. And on the the next to last day, we went at this one place, and we would go to different campsites or whatnot, and they would have activities for us prepared, because this was through the Boy Scouts. And one of the places they did a sunset hike. And so we went there, and we just all walked out to this mountain. And you could see the mountain in front of us that's in the album art, and it was just honestly really gorgeous. And so my friend took a whole bunch of pictures. I asked him to take some of me as well, because he's a very good photographer. Shout out to Connor Kearns. And yeah, so I took that picture then, and then I looked at it when I got home a week later. And I was damn, that's a really good picture. And I thought to myself, hey, I don't know, why don't I make that the album art for We Got the World? And so I messed a little bit with the hue and saturation and the vibrancy and whatnot to make it look a little bit more gorgeous than it already was. It was a very beautiful picture. Yeah, there we go. Album art done.
Good story, man. So you introduced the track. I'm sure everyone's dying to hear it now. So introduce it yourself, and then we'll crack on.
So you're about to hear my next single, We Got the World, that just released. It was a song about freedom in a pandemic slowly dying down world. It was a collaboration with my friend Richard, who lives in the Netherlands, and it was honestly one of my favorite tracks I've ever done, just because of the horn line in the final chorus. So yeah, here's We Got the World. Subscribe to my Spotify and follow my Instagram and whatnot. And here it is.
All my life locked in a prison cell. One day threw a penny in a wishing well. Called your name, you came to me. I believed Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Krishna. Don't believe in God, but my prayers gave me this now. All our days numbered at plenty. They all envy us in our Bentley. I look to the city, it fades away. Holding my hand, glad you stayed. All I see is the open road. We're free. We got the world, we got the world. And we can live it all damn night. When we party, we do it so right. Now won't you stay? Try to imagine what would happen if you left and you didn't stay. It would harm me with scars on my skin. Wouldn't be okay. I look to the city, it fades away. Holding my hand, glad you stayed. All I see is the open road. We're free. We got the world, we got the world. And we can live it all damn night. When we party, we do it so right. Now won't you stay? So have another drink with me. Toast to our sorrows of another day. Hop in the car, go far. No one on the road except us. We got the world, we got the world. Headlights shining on the pavement. We got the world, we got the world. All the hotels are vacant. I'm free, you're in my life. Is this a dream? Where is the strife? I thought real life had to be fucked up. It's not tough, cause I got you. We got the world, we got the world. And we can live it all damn night. When we party, we do it so right. Now won't you stay? So have another drink with me. Toast to our sorrows of another day. Hop in the car, go far. No one on the road except us. We got the world, we got the world. And we can live it all damn night. When we party, we do it so right. Now won't you stay?
Yeah, so thanks for letting us play your track as well, mate. Loved it. So do you think it's your best yet? I know you said it's your favorite yet.
My favorite track is not released, actually. But
is this a podcast exclusive?
No. Yeah, I guess so. It's a bit, about just like personal things going on in my life. And I wrote it. It's like kind of recorded, but I don't really feel like releasing it now because I'm just like not like emotionally ready. Just like to like share that track with the world and like the themes behind it. So
I hear that, man. Yeah. It's a very personal thing, music sometimes, isn't it? And the things that you write. So yeah, don't rush it out, man. It'll come when it's ready.
So what does the future look like for Desai? You see yourself heading in any new musical directions, or what do you have on the horizon that we can expect to see from you?
Keep on creating when I can. Make music. Be happy. More songs, ideally. I don't know how much time I have. I'm like dabbling in a whole bunch of different things right now. Like I'm like working on like this like Latin-esque beat. A little bit. I started it and I sent it over to Richard, the producer for We Got the World. And so that's just like one example of like things I guess like I try to like bring different genres together a little bit. You can hear that in We Got the World. We got we got like some like electronic elements in it, and yet we have like this like really like raw feeling strings and horns and all that. And so it just like, my music is honestly just throw different genres at the wall and see what sticks.
Didn't you say it was a Christmas song originally?
Yeah, it was a Christmas song.
How did you change that?
Yeah, it kind of was a Christmas song. I was like, in November of last year, I was like, I'm gonna make a Christmas song, even though Christmas is like a month away. And so I made a beat for it and whatever. And I just like,
that's not a lot of time to give yourself, man. To write a Christmas song. Started in November. That's not a lot of time.
Yeah. I just couldn't come up with good lyrics. And I just like, oh wow, that beat is just going in the back of my hard drive. And I may or may not listen to it again at some point. And then I did. And then yeah, that's how the song came to be.
Yeah, that's good, man. And I like what you say about keep creating and keep enjoying it as well. That those are the main things. And I was going to say, like, I remember quite a while back, I saw a video that you made. It was nothing to do with music. You were stood in a bin, and you were like, "Hi, I'm stood in a bin because I'm trash," or something like that. It really made me chuckle.
No, it was like
I can't remember exactly what it was.
I'm stuck on the inside of a, because I was promoting. This is actually related to promotion. I was promoting Stuck on the Inside. It was like, oh, I'm stuck on the inside of a trash can because like I'm trash. And then like Stuck on the Inside was playing in the background and whatnot.
It made me laugh. I like your imagination, man.
Got to say thank you for coming on the show today. Sitting down having a chat with us. It's interesting to hear your story, hear your process, and everything. So before we wrap up, if you want to tell us where we can reach you on those social medias you shouted out earlier, and how we can find you.
Yeah, at Desai Music everywhere. And then my artist name is Desai, spelled Desai. No $sign or anything. I used to have a $sign in my name, but I got rid of it. And thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming on, mate. It's been really good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Been looking forward to it. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us at home as well. Thanks to everyone chipping in the community, doing their bit, the mods, the partners. We'll see you all next time. And yeah, once again, thanks Desai.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Peace.
See you soon.